Guys, me back with another video. Trump say he's exhausted and he's falling asleep at campaign events and stuff. What is going on? Okay, I'm just sitting here on my computer and I see this video. I'm like, whoa, bro is falling asleep at campaign events and saying he's exhausted and stuff. You better wake up. You got a little bit more time before this election. You know what I'm saying? We're finna see what this video is talking about, y'all. Let's go.
It has already been a very long campaign season for the man that you saw there, his jaw jutting out in disappointment, Donald Trump. And it's really starting to show, I got to say. I mean, let's, again, to be just human here for a second, relate to a person on stage, their mic doesn't work. Campaigning for president is hard. It's physically and emotionally, psychologically grueling. It's difficult for any candidate. It's particularly got to be really hard for the 78-year-old man who is the oldest major party nominee in U.S. history.
Have you seen him lately? I mean, he is out there. He's given two and a half hour speeches, just word salads. You have no idea what he's talking about. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter. He's talking about this. He's talking about that. He's swaying to Ave Maria and YMCA for about half an hour. Folks are standing there not sure what's happening. Can you imagine if I did that?
Now, I think those concerns about competency are one of the reasons why one of the defining features of Trump's third campaign is how it's largely been sealed off in this alternate world of safe spaces. Friendly interviews with right-wing outlets, softball podcasts, a town hall that devolved into a bizarre wordless dance recital set to Trump's comfort playlist. When Trump rarely does step out from more traditional interview, he is forced to answer real questions on issues like his fitness for office, and he just can't do it.
You own and run businesses.
Yeah.
Would you appoint a CEO who was 78? You didn't give you a medical.
Some of this, yeah, I would. Depends on this. I met people like Biden, who's in bad shape. I wouldn't. I know many people in their 80s. I know guys in their 80s that won't leave the company, like family companies where they don't want the kids to take over because they're much more competent than their kids. You know, I took 2 cognitive tests and I aced them both. I think that, frankly, people, regardless, should take, if they're 50 or 40 or, I think people should take cognitive tests, not because of the age, but because of something else.
Something else? What's the something else? Now, considering all that, it should probably come as a little surprise that Trump has canceled a number of mainstream interviews in the final stretch of the campaign. His team is citing exhaustion.
I did not. Oh, let me.
And for anyone who's been following along, there's no doubt that Donald Trump really is tired. And again, I get it. As the Harris Walls campaign noted on social media, quote, an exhausted Trump appeared to fall asleep during his campaign event in Michigan today. At that same event, he even complained about having to campaign.
Bro, just retire, bro. Hang up the jersey, retire, man. You're getting older, you know what I'm saying? You're 70-something. Retire. Have fun with the kids. Have fun with the lady. You know what I'm saying? Whatever lady that may be. And just retire, bro. It's all right. It's okay. I'm playing. Let's go.
How about we'll go through it pretty quick, Dale, and then I'm going over to make a little speech in front of 10,000 people. You think this is an easy life I have, right? I go from here, I say, am I finished? They say, no, sir, you have one more speech. Oh, good. Where is it? What is it, 20 minutes, 30 minutes away?
He does not look like he's enjoying himself. Now, Donald Trump has always been one of the absolute weirder figures in American public life. He's always said really disgusting and bigoted things, and he has never hit his authoritarian desire. So none of that's new. But even grading on a curve for him, it seems as though every time he gets in front of a microphone these days, what comes out of his mouth is a combination of incoherent and offensive.
I was so amazed that Harvey Weinstein got schlonged. He got hit as hard as you can get hit because he was sort of the king of the woke, right? Lincoln was probably a great president, although I've always said, why wasn't that settled? You know, I'm a guy that it doesn't make sense. We had a civil war.
Do you find it weird they're not interested about why Kamala Harris was not at the Capitol on January 6th, but was at the DNC when a pipe bomb was outside?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Why does
they say, oh, yes, we're building cars? They don't build cars. They take them out of a box and they assemble them. We could have our child do it. It's a rigged deal. The whole thing is rigged. Why are they still being held? Nobody's ever been treated like this. Nobody's ever. Maybe the Japanese during Second World War, frankly, but they were held too.
I think we have more of an enemy from within than we do from outside. These are bad people. These are sick people and bad people.
Is cocaine a stronger?
Oh yeah.
Up.
Yeah. Cocaine.
So you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Okay.
What's your favorite farm animal?
I'll tell you what.
What was that interview about? Cocaine? What is going on? I know when you got money, you higher up, they be doing that stuff. But what the hell was going on in that interview? Let's go.
What I love cows. But if we go with Kamala, you won't have any cows. I like conversation. I don't seem to get myself in much trouble.
Now, just to be clear, when he was talking to I think it was Dan Bongino, about who it was that was treated like the Japanese in internment, he was referring to the January 6th folks who've been arrested and prosecuted and imprisoned for attempting to sack the Capitol. That's who he was comparing to the Japanese who were interned. Now, so all of that, you get a little sense there. That's how Donald Trump's campaign is going. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, is running a very active campaign. She's taking every opportunity to highlight the contrast between her and Trump.
Now he is ducking debates and canceling interviews. Come on. And check this out. His own campaign team recently said it is because of exhaustion. Well, if you are exhausted on the campaign trail, it raises real questions about whether you are fit for the toughest job in the world. Come on.
Donald Trump's response today likely did little to assuage concerns about his fitness for office.
What event have I canceled? I haven't canceled. She doesn't go to any events. She's a loser. She doesn't go to any events. She didn't even show up for the Catholics last night at the hotel. It was insulting. All they are is sound bites. So today I was at Fox and Friends at 7 in the morning. I then went to 2 different other appearances. I then made about 15 phone calls. I've gone 48 days now without arrest. And I've got that loser who doesn't have the energy of a rabbit.
Now, that's, of course, a lie. Kamala Harris does tons of media, including the traditional outlets that Trump dodges. She even sat down for a very adversarial interview with Fox News just this week. In fact, a key part of that campaign is showing voters exactly what Donald Trump has been saying. She did so again today, because there's simply no denying that her 78-year-old opponent is incoherent and exhausted and floundering on the campaign trail with less than 2 weeks to go. Seems like maybe a bad idea to have him on the country, but what do I know? Valencia Johnson's a Democratic strategist who served as a senior advisor for the Biden-Harris 2020 campaign. David Jolly is a former Republican congressman of Florida, and they both join me now. It's interesting to me, Valencia, with Donald Trump, it has always been an issue of where you attack him if you're a political opponent, particularly Democrat. There's a lot to say. And in some ways, there's so much to say it overwhelms. But the sort of idea of unfitness, which I can't tell if that's an argument to voters or it's also just a way of needling him. What do you think of that argument, which I think obviously is pretty merited at this point?
Listen, I think you've seen that the Democratic Party and the Harris campaign sees that this is actually an argument that could persuade voters to not vote for him, to maybe stay home or just vote, or even more importantly, vote for Vice President Harris, because they put out a campaign ad today calling him unfit and unstable. Here's what's really interesting and why it's so strategic and smart for Vice President Harris and the campaign to do this is because every time that she hits him about being unstable, about being weak, about being unfit for office, it chips away at his bravado style of politics and campaigning, and he can't actually campaign on issues. He's flailing and completely going off the rails and trying to push back on these allegations that, quite frankly, the more that he plays into them, the worse he looks, which helps Democrats up and down the ticket, including Vice President Harris. And so I think it's a strong campaign strategy in that it's a quick campaign strategy for the vice president's campaign. They can hit him about being unfit and unstable and then also talk about policy positions when all he can do is respond to this.
Yeah. By the way, I think his mic is back, so he's back talking again. You mentioned the ad, and I want to play this for you, David, and get your thoughts on it, because I thought an interesting hybrid of the sort of he's unhinged, he has authoritarian aspirations, and then a very kind of meat and potatoes midsection of this very quick 30-second ad. Take a listen.
Donald Trump makes a lot of promises, but we can be sure of one thing. If he wins, he'll ignore all checks that rein in a president's power. It's all in Trump's Project 2025 agenda. What does that mean for you? Higher cost on groceries, cuts to Social Security and Medicare, more tax breaks for billionaires, and a national abortion ban putting women's health at risk. A second Trump term, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
Interesting ad, David.
Yeah, Chris, I think it's fascinating because we are entering the period where we're seeing the closing argument. And I think to Alencia's point, it may be that the vice president is choosing to make her closing argument, not necessarily about her own policy platform, which she's proposed many policies, but about Donald Trump's fitness. And I think what it also indicates is there are very few gettable voters out there, but the most gettable voters are probably the voters that are concerned about Donald Trump's fitness. Maybe it's the danger to democracy argument, but it is the chaos argument you hear the vice president make, the word unhinged. Those are the persuadable voters that are left. And then contrast that with Donald Trump. He's doing nothing to reach those voters. If anything, his closing argument is pushing those voters farther away. And so you saw her reach out to soft Republicans in Bucks County, Pennsylvania this week. You're seeing this notion of the president being unhinged. Sure, she's going to hit on those quick policy points like you saw, particularly on reproductive freedom. But I think her closing argument is an acknowledgement that this decision this year is about Donald Trump and whether or not he is a safe person to return to the White House. It's a powerful argument.
There y'all have it, man. He over here falling asleep. You can't be falling asleep when you get it, if you get elected. So you might as well drop out the race. I'm playing, but kind of not playing, but yeah, there y'all go, man. Another video. Make sure y'all watch every video. So I'm trying to tell y'all, every video matters. You got to get updated on this news like I am, y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on the channel. Let me know what y'all think about the video. You know what I'm saying? Kamala's not getting tired. My boy getting older, man. He's getting older. He need to hang the jersey up, be with the kids, chill. He got money, just chill, bro. But yeah, y'all got way more videos to do. I love y'all. Make sure you hit subscribe on the channel. Like I said, comment, like the video, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload. Y'all, I love y'all so much. I gotta get up out of here. Peace and love, baby. And we out.